Welcome, everyone. This brief video is intended for parents, guardians, family members, and caretakers of students enrolled in ninth grade Honors English at Richard Montgomery High School. If you are unable to attend back to school night or just want to review what was presented, this is a great place to start. First and foremost, I want to welcome you to the Richard Montgomery community. Whether this is your first back to school night or one of your last, I'm very glad that you're here. My name is Molly Clarkson, and I teach ninth grade Honors English at RM and also serve as the school's MYP or Middle Years Program Coordinator. My email address and Google Voice phone number are here on the slide and will be repeated at the end of the presentation. This is my 19th year teaching ninth grade English at Richard Montgomery. Yes, you heard that correctly. And in a year that's really unlike any other, I'm still excited to get back to working with kids. Even though our setting has changed, it's a great pleasure working with your children as they enter high school. I tell my students that the best part of my day is always the time that I have to spend with them. And that's true whether in person or virtually. The ninth grade English team is a group of dedicated professionals, and we make it our goal to help students make a successful transition to high school while developing the critical reading, writing, and thinking skills that are necessary for the rigorous course options that are available to students in 11th and 12th grade, but also in the world beyond high school. Today, we'll be talking a little bit about our goals for students in this course, what to expect from the curriculum in ninth grade, and where to find relevant information on the Canvas classroom, and how to contact me if you have questions throughout the year. As I'm sure you've heard from other teachers, the current pandemic and the resulting closure of school buildings has required us to radically rethink the way that we teach and set new priorities for our students. So rather than a list of expectations or a supply list, our team came together and agreed on 4 core values that we thought were important in distance learning. These are communication and feedback, focus on social emotional well-being, consistency and clarity, and flexibility. To that end, the first semester of ninth grade English is a writing workshop course. That means that the course will look different from other English courses that your students have taken or will take in the future. You won't see maybe full-length novels or texts right away, and you'll notice that when we're reading, it's usually shorter texts that we're focusing on with attention to language. For the first 4 weeks, we're particularly interested in developing writing habits and encouraging students to focus on sentence fluency, both in narrative and expository writing. We'll shift into a focus on a fictional narrative in the middle of the quarter, which will culminate with the common writing task and a writer's reflection. While we don't have all the information yet about what the exact structure of second quarter will be, we do know that we'll be focusing on analytical writing and studying part or all of Sandra Cisneros' novella, The House on Mango Street. Our ninth grade MYP courses in 9th and 10th grade use concepts to focus their instruction. So you'll see that our focus right now is on communication and self-expression. And as we progress through the quarter, we'll be shifting to focus more on creativity and on style. These concepts are developed out over the course of the quarter through a variety of tasks that are both written and verbal. None of us knows exactly what second semester is going to look like at this point. Despite that, this is kind of a preview of what we've done in the past and some of what we intend to do if we can. We generally start out with a study of Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun, and then move on to 2 other core texts, Elizabeth Acevedo's The Poet X, which is our grade level book study for ninth grade, and the late Congressman John Lewis's graphic memoir, March, which tracks his life from the period of fall 1963 through 1965 and the Selma voting rights campaign. Along the way, we supplement the fiction with nonfiction selections so that they complement each other. This year, all classes have shifted over to the Canvas platform. Even though all classes are on the same platform, though, I know that different classrooms look slightly different. So I want to take a moment to show you where to find some key features of the classroom. In line with our commitment to clarity and consistency, all ninth grade English classrooms look the same, and they will look the same from first to second semester. We're hoping that that will ease the transition for students who have a schedule change, but that it'll also make it easier to adjust if students have different teachers in first and second semester, which is often the case. So taking a look at our Canvas classroom, you will see from the class homepage here that all of the materials, most of the instructional materials, can be accessed through this quick access page down here at the bottom. The links to the modules page will take you here. And this is where most of the instructional materials are for the class. We use Pages to provide instructional content, including explanation, links, and videos that are supplementing live instruction. So as an example of that, you'll see that our first kind of graded writing assignment is this autobiography as haiku, and that page here has task expectations, what the sort of orientation of the task is, some examples for students down at the bottom, and then a video explanation of the assignment. And that is there because very often we find that, particularly with all of the distractions of live instruction, it can be really hard if students miss key directions or just need something re-explained to them after the fact. And you can't necessarily go back in time, even though the Zoom recordings are there. So we do these scripted videos to provide students with a resource that they can go back to. So that's what a typical assignment page or instruction page will look like. Going back to our home page, the course overview has, or class overview here, page. This page contains a lot of the information that would ordinarily be covered in a class syllabus. Grading, structure, accommodations information, all of the, kind of nuts and bolts of the course. The calendar page will automatically update, and you'll see that in the student view as well. And the teacher contact page contains my information if you need to access that. The recordings of the Zoom meetings, as you can see, are posted as an announcement to one class at a time, and they're available for 72 hours after the class ends. Recordings are only available from MCPS student accounts, and each one is password protected. Back here on the home page, you'll see down at the bottom, there is a preview of our class agenda slides. So we're going to take a quick look at that. This is sort of our home base for live instruction. Information about what students may have missed on any given day will be there on the presentation and in the slide notes. So the first few slides always remain the same. But for example, this is class tomorrow. So it outlines what students may be doing in class tomorrow, and then down in the slides notes, you'll see that I've included information about what to do if you miss class. So that's sort of a typical day. And then any resources that we're focusing on in class that day will be on the slides following. So kids can access those slides notes from this link. Oops. From this Daily Agendicides link here. Homework is also listed there. And we use this in class as kind of a one-stop shop for all the links and resources that we're going to use during the period. In addition, down at the very bottom here, this link takes students to a folder of my notes and outlines for the live class. That can be helpful if students need to go back and review material that we covered in class. And it can also be useful for students who have that as an accommodation. So that's, I think, the key parts of our quick little classroom tour here. So I hope that little classroom tour and introduction has been helpful to you. Again, the information about how Canvas is structured is here on that slide. The fastest way to get in contact with me is usually via email at my Outlook email address there. And please feel free to contact me if you have any questions about your class or your child's performance. And I look forward to working with you and your child throughout the course of this semester, or if I'm lucky enough to have them for the full year, Thanks for attending our back to school night today. And I look forward to being in contact with you throughout the semester.